to welcome you to today's RE Tech and R. That's what RE Technology calls webinars. The goal of the RE Tech and R series is to bring in real estate brokers and agents who are having success with technology solutions in real estate today, talk to them a little bit about what they're doing, why they're choosing what they do, what products that they're using. We invite technologists in or specialists in this area who have products that they'd like to introduce to people who don't have a lot of experience in this. So we're very pleased to have Isaac Guzman from Showing Suite here with us today. He's going to be providing some expert feedback on showing solutions. He'll show you his product, which Alan Shafran uses, and then we will answer any questions that you have. So in general, we like to start each webinar with kind of a category overview. You understand that RE Technology has information about all the showing products and services that are available to you today, and you can certainly go in and view all the products and services that are available and understand the differences between them, look at ratings from other real estate agents and brokers, find whatever product or application might be available to you. In general, the reason why real estate brokerages have pursued showing solutions is to solve situations that really have hindered real estate agents, whether they're representing buyers or sellers, throughout the whole showing process. The pain is real, and I think all of you know that. As a listing agent, you're feeling calls constantly for people who are requesting showings. As a buyer's agent, you're trying to organize a tour for your buyers, and you have to often contact a lot of people in order to get that done. A lot of this can be automated today, and it is automated in a lot of markets, but the choices that you make for making those solutions automated make a difference in your business. And one of the people that has really been a leader in putting together automated solutions was Alan Shafran. He's the president and CEO of the Alan Shafran Group. And one of the unique things about Alan, which made him a great panelist for today's webinar, was that Alan himself is both a broker and a real estate agent. He's been one of the leading real estate agents in the San Diego marketplace for a long, long time. He has a run rate of doing $100 million in transactions on his own and with his team for many, many years. He has always been ranked as one of the top real estate agents for the Prudential Franchise Group before starting his own company. But now he's looking at things a little differently. He's thinking about how he takes what he's learned from his own production and empowers other real estate agents that are members of his real estate firm to be able to use his tools of success to cover some of the challenges that you face as a real estate agent in business today. So with that, I just want to remind people that if you're having any trouble with the audio or if you're not seeing the slides, be sure to put your question in the chat panel, which is part of the GoToWebinar control panel. And as we're going through today's presentation, by all means, if you have a question, please use the GoToWebinar control panel questions box and type your question in there. So the layout of our conversation today is I'm going to have a chat with Alan about his experience with showing solutions. Then I am going to spend a little time with Isaac, who's going to be showing the solution that Alan uses in his business. And then toward the end, we're going to have 15 minutes for Q&A. So with that, Alan, welcome. How are you today?
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing very well. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Honored to be here.
Oh, it's fun. I appreciate you being here. We're up north in San Luis Obispo County. You're down in San Diego, so we're not too far away. At least we're on the same time zone, which is all good.
Right. Except for our weather's better, and I'll always brag about that.
Until it rains. But anyway.
It thunders like it did this morning, interestingly enough. I thought it was going to hail.
Excellent. So, Alan, just if you could just give us a little background on yourself. I know that you were one of the top agents with Prudential for many years. You recently spread your wings and went out on your own. And can you tell us just a little bit about what got you going on that, and how many agents you have, and how things are working for you today?
Okay. I've been in the business for over 20, 25 years, something like that. It's been quite a while. And have seen and been part of different companies, and was with Prudential for a very long time, and it was an excellent organization. And as you know, in this area, it was recently acquired by Home Services over the last several years. And it just got to the point where, I was producing, roughly $100 million a year, give or take, a little different every year. And it made sense that I just wanted the freedom and to grow things on my own direction with our own technology without having sort of the wrong technology in place with the company and having some conflict. So we just sort of did our own thing. They're still an excellent company that I came from, and we're having a lot of fun with our company today. We recently been open only about, I think, 7 months now. I have 6 agents that work with me currently, and a little earlier this year we also brought onto our team the largest producing agent who does about $30 million a year in the neighboring city of Oceanside. And part of the technology and some of the things that we implemented is why this individual came over to us, and some of the infrastructure that we provide. So that's sort of the background, and I guess kind of the story, and I can get as detailed as you wish, but otherwise I'll be talking here for 3 hours. You won't be able to get me to stop.
Well, actually, you bring up a good point. So one of the ways in which real estate firms recruit and retain agents has to do with the technology solutions they offer. And certainly when you're thinking about enterprise-level solutions that are going to be valuable and available to all agents, you have to make different decisions than what you had to make operating as a team or operating individually. Can you talk about the role that technology decisions make relative to recruiting in your business today?
Yes, and that's also part of my goal, and I know we have an audience that, has a plethora of different goals and different missions and whatnot. And my mission for my company isn't to be a company that has 100 agents. I'm still a producing broker. I love what we do, and I want to nurture the team concept in that direction. So that's just sort of our mission statement. But as we do grow with agents that join us, it is critical to me that we implement both the right technology and that the technology is in use. Otherwise, we're spending money without the proper implementation, and therefore efficacy doesn't exist. It's just money out the door with complication. And I think we can all attest to the fact that our industry has gone through a massive revolution, right, through technology, and the challenge has been choosing the right one, making sure it works, making sure it makes money, and making sure it's simple enough for everybody to use. And that's a challenge in itself.
Yeah, it sure is. You're kind of a new company, so I know that a lot of technology products are also used for retention. Sometimes when you have a service that top producers are relying on in their business, it's a way to keep them at your company relative to going to another business where they might get a different compensation plan, but they're going to sacrifice these products and services. And it's always a question as to whether those things net out to positive or negative. But it sounds like you're a pretty credible guy as somebody who has not only expects agents to use the tools that are being provided by the brokerage, but also somebody who uses them yourself. So I think you probably appreciate them more than a lot of owners who don't actually sell anymore, and that's got to be a difference in your business.
I think so. I mean, I think a lot of brokers at one point in time were producing, and the change that we're seeing, I think, today is that the industry has changed so much that sometimes the spread between what a broker who hasn't produced in 20 years but still owns a company, what they think an agent needs versus what an agent actually needs, what they think is valuable to the agent, and what the agent doesn't think is very valuable at all. And there is an absolute disparity between those two ideas right now. So it is important for us as brokers and as agents, and I'm just repeating and echoing my point before, that we're just using things that work. It's taking our time to implement the technology. It should be saving us time and making us money. So what do we use for retention? We use good staff, strong infrastructure, and strong systems with the staff that make the agent's life easier. And when we can do that, then we're building a better life for them. They stay.
So the agents that you're recruiting into your business, I mean, you're bringing in producing agents. You're not really focused on new agents. Is that correct? Right. Even if it's going to be on my personal team, I would love an agent to have some experience. Yeah. So one of the things that you and I have talked about in preparing for today's webinar was that as a producing agent, you need to really pay careful attention to the things that are really going to save you time in your business. And you identified your showing solution as one of those things. Can you talk a little bit about, where that ranks in your overall technology planning?
Yes. I would say that it's absolutely amongst the top, and it was amongst the top since we implemented it. I don't know, I think it's been 12, 14 years ago, somewhere along those lines. It's been quite a while. Being in the business as long as I was, I knew, or have been, we're out with listings. Either the listing sells quickly, or you're now dealing with maintenance issues. And then the goal is to somehow get the listing to sell. We're dealing with people, we're dealing with anxieties, we're dealing with emotions, we're dealing with all kinds of things. And we were really struggling prior to the implementation of this technology as to how much time it took to both process feedback, communication to sellers, communication to agents, and not just that, but the integrity of the data. So I think a lot of brokers, I hope, will be able to relate to this, that, the old days, we would try and get that done, and we'd be calling buyer's agents, and buyer's agents wouldn't be calling us back, and then we'd be calling sellers and saying, hey, we tried to call the buyer's agents, and then if we did get a hold of the buyer's agents and they gave us some feedback, then we try and give it to the sellers, and the sellers may or may not believe us. So it was a real issue. We were struggling. So it was such a fantastic implementation of technology to create transparency and automate the process. It changed everything for us. And I was able to take something that an assistant did full-time and put it into, several hours a week. So it was just an incredible process for us back then.
So for all the audience members, you'll notice that we just launched a quick poll, and one of the things that we're trying to understand is how you manage your showing information today. Are you doing it manually? Do you have staff doing it? That would be the first item. Second would be automatic, whether you're using a solution like Showing Suite or other, or the last one, I guess, is I don't. So we're just going to take a moment here to invite you to answer that, and then we'll close the poll in about a minute. So if you could just select one of those three, and then we'll share the results. But so time savings is clearly it's the obvious example, but you've used your showing solution and showing feedback a little differently in your business, and I know it's part of your selling proposition when you go on a listing appointment. Can you talk about how you use this in your listing presentation, how you train your agents to use it in a listing presentation so that sellers understand what they're going to expect when their property is listed for sale?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we have a couple of different types of sellers that we are selling to when we go to list their property, right? You have the seller that is brand new, so it's their first time selling their home. And with that type of seller, we're educating them as to what that showing process is going to look like. And then we're educating them as what services the industry offers. And we feel that we have the edge because of our service with Showing Suite, because here's what it could look like if you don't use our service. So that's one way. More often than not in our area, so let's say my average price range that we sell in this arena is anywhere between, let's say, $700,000 and $900,000. So many times we'll be dealing with a seller who has sold at least one or two homes in the past. Well, I think, again, hopefully everybody on the line can relate to the fact that there's a few things that most sellers complain about from previous experiences. And probably the number one item on that list is communication. And showing feedback, what someone thought about their house, what or why someone didn't buy their house, did the buyer buy anything else instead of their house, all those issues were left blank, and those people were frustrated. So what we do is we take a couple of slides, we'll have a PowerPoint, we'll jump in there, and we'll show them how this actually solves the problem. We show them how it's transparent. We show them how they get integrity. We show them how much work we're putting into trying to get that feedback because it's important. And then when we receive that feedback, we know the integrity of the data is fantastic and it's true. So then at that point, we get to decide whether we want to listen to the marketplace and really sell the property, or whether we want to try and wait for the marketplace to change. But at least we're listening to good data. And that's sort of the way that we present it. And you can see the seller's lights, you know, their eyes are just lighting up, because you're really resolving an issue that they had a problem with in the past, amongst, you know, maybe a couple other things, but that's always. And if you're dealing with expired listings, for example, which I did for years and years and years, that's always one of the top three. Top three. I never heard from my agent. I never knew what was going on with the home. I never knew what was going on with the feedback.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like in just the results of our poll, about 60% of the people who just answered the poll said that they manage all their showings manually, and certainly that wow. There's nothing wrong with doing that, but you know, what a time suck. But beyond that, one of the things that I think you just pointed out, and it's real, is that when real estate agents have shown a property, I mean, you show it to two groups of people. You show it to both other real estate agents who are representing buyers, and you know, also you may be taking some feedback when you have open houses and things like that. So you have both consumer feedback and agent feedback, and a lot of that information is being conducted back to the seller in terms of just vocalizing, if at all, you know, relative to what you've experienced. But you know, they'll just have a conversation with their seller. Oh, we had a broker open today. Everybody looked at your house and they thought it was priced too high, or they thought that you should paint this or that or the other thing. But one of the differences, I think, between what you're doing and what that agent's doing who's just sharing that story is you're saying, hey, let's sit down together and let's look at the feedback that we got. So now it's not you expressing the opinion of others. It's you sitting Correct. On the side of your, you know, the side of the table with your client, reading what others were saying, and then coming up with a plan of how to address those situations. How does that
Absolutely.
Change the dynamic?
It changes everything. I couldn't go back to doing it the old way. I understand the fact that not every system and every showing procedure, I should say, is different across the country. So everyone's a little bit different. But the process, our process here is automatic with showing suites. So showing suites gathering the data of the listing agents that show the property. You're able to totally customize your website with showing suite to how quickly you send out a feedback response, how often you send out a feedback response, what feedback is sent out, which questions, etc. But even if you couldn't get that to happen in your arena, and it still was a manual process that's less automatic than what I just described, I would still suggest that you have something that's transparent on a website like that, so that the seller really sees the integrity of the data that's coming through as the listing is going and going and going. And they know that you're doing your job. It's not, you know, that horrible one call that we have to make as agents because we haven't communicated with them in 2 or 3 weeks, and we've got to make that one call to do the price reduction, and the seller's like, okay, now you're making a call, and of course, now you're delivering me all the reasons why nobody's buying my home, just so you can get a price reduction, just so you can get a listing. The website provides the transparency of that data as the listing is going from the beginning to the end. So you can say, hey, look at the website with me. We're both on it together. Remember that? That's what the agent said back then. And every time an agent responds, it gives you a reason to contact your client. So it's something good, and it's also something that allows you to address those difficult listings. If there's a listing that smells like a chimney, or, you know, you walked in, the old jokes where there's dog poop all over the place, you know, guess what? Agents are saying it. Agents are being transparent today, and much more transparent today than they were 14 years ago. So they're actually making our lives easier. And they're saying these things. We're able to call and say, hey, guys, yeah, this is what an agent said. So we've actually had 3 of them say that now. You can see that on the website. It might be something we want to address, and there's 2 ways to address that. We either lower the price to compensate for that fact, and or we can make the adjustment, which, you know, replacing the carpet would cost you 10 grand. I think it would make more sense to lower the price by 20 and not deal with potentially putting in the wrong carpet. So it just really facilitates a terrific process, and a big percentage of the time, and this is the part I love, Victor, big percentage of the time, they're calling me to reduce the price. I don't have to make that call nearly as much as I used to. It's incredible. They're calling me. They're saying, "Oh my God, all these people are saying the same thing. We're definitely getting the showings in here. What do you think we need to do?" I'm like, "Well, here are your options. 1, 2, 3. Well, what do you recommend?" I recommend number 3 because that's a price reduction, easiest result. We'll get it sold in 1 week. We just have to adjust the price.
That's phenomenal. So when you're onboarding agents into the brokerage and you're going to talk to them or train them on how to use these tools, and I mean, certainly you have a lot of experience having these different types of conversations with sellers. Do you guys handle all this with staff, or do you sit down with the agents, or how do you get agents that are onboarding to the company to understand how to position this product in terms of the listing presentation and how to position this product in terms of their communication with the seller?
Wow, that is the question, isn't it? It's a monster question because it applies to all the different types of brokerages and where we're at. So I'll speak to myself for a moment and then maybe what I would recommend for a larger brokerage. For us, I've got an infrastructure that with my assistants that kind of runs the office, so it helps with showings and managing the website. And we do a lot of communication digitally, and we can even do it on behalf of the agent. So the agent can communicate. They'll be on the road. They can communicate to the staff, "Hey, please communicate this to the seller because I'm going over here," and that can be done. And so a lot of this process is taken care of. At the same time, I do have to sit down with each agent. And for us as a company, we have weekly training. So we sit down and we review our systems in the company and what's automated, and we go over it, and I'll pull up the website in the conference room, and I teach them what to look at. I teach them what to say. We'll hand out a script. We'll even do testing, perhaps in the following week or in a couple of days. And we have to implement it that way, and it has to be repeated. It's not easy, and it's not simple. If I'm a larger company, I probably, again, you have to have training, in my opinion. We will help with that training as far as the Showing Suite or our company, and we call Showing Suite all the time for additional help. But as a company, I would definitely take 1 or 2 of my largest producers, implement this, get their idea how to implement it with the company before I rolled it out to the whole company.
It's kind of what
I don't know if that answers your question specifically enough, but I'll try and do better.
No, I think it does. I mean, I think one of the plights that all firms, regardless of size, experience is they go out and they acquire a solution that they think is going to be meaningful in the way that they deliver service both to the agents and the end consumer, and then it falls flat on its face. It's not adopted. 1 out of 10 agents is using it. Those agents love it, so then you're stuck with it. You can't get rid of it, and then but you're paying for it for 90% of the agents who aren't using it at all.
Right.
So it's it's like, wait, I want all these benefits. I want to save time for my agents. I want to make them more effective in listing presentations. I want to give them feedback that's going to help them have those tough conversations with sellers. Why are you using it?
Right.
I bought it. It's sitting here, and I think that is a real situation that happens every day in brokerage across America.
Absolutely, and this has got to be, in my opinion, an all or none thing. I mean, we have Showing Suite is able to deliver individual services to agents, but if I'm a broker, I look to implement a meaningful change in the company that's simple, very financially affordable, and changes the whole company for everybody. And you can roll it, although you can roll it out a little more slowly, you do have to commit to it as a broker. I think, again, I'm going to say, I think we can all relate to that. How much stuff have we implemented and adopted that went to the way, just gone, done, didn't work? Waste of money, waste of time. Evaluate the product. If it makes sense, commit to it, train to it, have it make you money. Of course, agents fight it because that's what they do. The minute they see that it works, the minute they see there's no choice, they end up loving it. All of us went through that in the transaction document platform. For managing transactions. We watched that over years and years. And we saw big companies like Prudential and Home Services. One day, the only time it worked is when the company said, from this point forward, this is the only way we are paying out our commission is when you hand us a complete online document transaction with all the checklists done and all the papers scanned and everything filled in. And now it's nothing. Now it's just part of what we do.
Forced family fun.
Right.
And it's hard. You know, I was in Seattle earlier in this week, and I was with the brokerage, and we were doing a technology audit for all the systems that they have. They have 7,000 agents, so they're in a little different space. And you know, they had a very candid conversation with me about how they look at technology solutions, and they said the top 20% of our agents, they pretty much select the tools that they're going to use, and we support them in doing that. You don't want to take somebody who's operating a business at volume and start changing things around so that they have to conform with the company mantra too much. We make those solutions available as options to them, of course, but we also respect the sanctity of the success that they're having. What we're really trying to do as a company is take that middle 60% that is anywhere from 1 to, you know, some mid-range of transactions and make those people more effective. That's where we make all of our money. And then, you know, the bottom group of people, you know, we really focus on just teaching them how to be good prospectors as agents. So this product seems to come into that 60% range where you take an agent who just isn't full-on floored with business, but you make them more productive by teaching them how to save their time when they have a listing and how to do listing presentations more effectively so they're not, you know, losing out on a lot of business opportunities, and certainly how to have those conversations with sellers so that you can make sure that properties are positioned right to show themselves the best when a prospective buyer does come through. And secondly, to have conversations about pricing relative to feedback that's happening in the market. So with that said,
and the depth, and let me just add to that, Victor, also the depth to which the data is mined in this product for a broker from the top down is fantastic. I mean, you're able as a broker, especially if you had 7,000 agents, to prognosticate, okay, what's happening in the market. You know, four weeks ago, we were getting as a company this many showings on all of our listings. Or you're able to have one of your agents take the data from the company and saying, hey, our listing in our company, the average listing is receiving an average of 4 showings a week, and that's the one that's selling. Our listing is only receiving 1 showing every 2 weeks. It means something's off. So the company is able to take that data and use it in a plethora of different fashions to help them both see what's happening, judge the marketplace in general, judge what's going on with their listings, see which ones are selling, which ones are not, who are the producers that are selling other listings, what are their stats compared to the rest of the company's stats. So there's a lot of things that you can take because this is real-time data. It's like your local market data. But it does require the implementation, like you said. It does require it. For us, we took the $30 million producer. I had to do it for him. There was no way. I get what everyone goes through. He's busy. He's already got enough on his plate. You know, I took one of my staff and I said, you know, create an account for him. You know, it was all automated though. All the listings go on. The most important part was educating his clients. And he actually liked it once it was put together.
How does he feel about it now?
The beginning part. Oh, he loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it. He can't go backwards. Right. But this is a guy that was doing it manually. But guess what happened 3 months after he joined us? He literally doubled his production from the time he joined us over because of the technology and the infrastructure. His time went from doing what's that?
Work smart, not hard.
Yeah. Well, no, he's brilliant at what he does. I don't take anything away. It's not all technology. It's just that what the technology did was allowed him to do what he's best at more.
Hallelujah. So why don't we just, we've talked about, you know, these products, and I just want to introduce Isaac Guzman, who's your vendor, the guy who's providing you all this exciting new functionality in your business. Isaac, are you there?
I sure am. Can you guys hear me?
We can. So thanks for being here today. We always like to have a technologist with us on these RE Techinars. It helps to sort of, there's always this juxtaposition when you talk to a broker about the role that technology plays in their business today, and then you contrast that with, what we hear every day, which is, let me tell you how my technology is going to improve your business today. And it's often a little bit of a different perspective, but I'd like to invite you to show everyone on today's webinar what it is that Alan is using in his company today and how it works, and just provide a quick overview. And but before you get started, I would like to just say for the audience, as you have questions, I see a lot of questions coming in here now. Please put those questions in the GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll spend a little bit of time here at the end to make sure that either Isaac or Alan answer your questions before we conclude the webinar today. So with that, Isaac, welcome. Can you give us a show of what you guys built and what Alan's been using in his business today?
Sure thing. Thank you so much, Victor. Real quickly, I am a technology consultant here at ShowingSuite, and basically what Alan has been talking to is what I do. I help improve sales volume and automation at offices and real estate brokerages nationwide, and it's usually by implementing these systems. And so what I'm going to do real quickly is just give you a quick sneak peek, kind of under the hood look at what ShowingSuite does and how it's being used and implemented at brokerages like Alan's all across the states. So for most of us, we may not want to stick around, but if for whatever reason you're ready to go, you're chomping at the bit, feel free to go to showingsuite.com, and you can start a 30-day free trial and see what our software is all about. Be sure to use the promo code RET14, and that'll give you an additional bonus after that 30-day free trial. So I just want to get that out there before we jump right in. So it's my understanding, not everybody's too familiar with ShowingSuite or even feedback systems as a whole. So quickly, I would just want to give you a quick background on ShowingSuite. Alan and his partner actually started it in 2001 as homefeedback.com. So a lot of people in the industry are more familiar with that name. So it is the same thing. As we grew and added more features, we kind of evolved into what is now ShowingSuite. And you can now find ShowingSuite products being used in basically every major metropolitan market in the U.S. and also in Canada. So chances are, if you stopped by a house and got an automatic feedback request, it was probably powered by us. Also, we do represent and work with some of the biggest brokerages here in the U.S., and we've received plenty of national awards, including an RE Tech Award in 2013 as one of the top tech companies in real estate. So just a quick little slide about bragging about who ShowingSuite is and give you a quick background. In every account, there are some features that are going to be included in every account, namely home feedback, which is the base product that we start off with, which allows you to effectively capture feedback and share that with your sellers. So it's not just about feedback. It speaks much to what Alan was talking about with regards to sharing that information with your sellers and keeping them informed and keeping that line of communication open. Also, showing sync, that's our ability to automatically sync up with electronic lockboxes to generate feedback requests as soon as somebody accesses that lockbox. Listing sync is our ability to pull in listings from your MLS board. It's going to save every agent a ton of time because you're not going to have to re-enter data. So basically, you put it in the MLS, and we'll get it from there. Also, showing calendar, it's a cloud-based calendar. It allows prospects and their agents, showing agents, to go on your website and check out a cloud-based calendar and request appointments there, saving you a ton of time on the phones. Also, we do have an automated scheduling process called text-to-show and showing robot. Text-to-show, basically, it allows agents and prospective buyers to use their smartphone to text in and schedule showings using that. Also, everything we talk about here in ShowingSuite, you're going to be able to do from your mobile device because we do have the ShowingSuite mobile app, which is fully functional. So no matter where you're at, you'll have the power of ShowingSuite right there in the palm of your hand. Customer satisfaction surveys that automatically go out at the close of escrow. That's going to help you add a ton of transparency within your brokerage. Home follow-up is our CRM that allows you to capture, organize, and also market to all of your leads and prospects. And then lastly is our showing robot. It's an automated, innovative, cloud-based scheduling system. And I'll kind of break these down in depth in just a sec. So what I wanted to do right now is actually do another poll. And so if we can go ahead and ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is getting price reductions for you? So if we can go ahead and put that poll up, we'll be able to gauge basically people's comfort level, I guess you can say, with taking that approach of requesting price reductions. So I believe the poll will pop up in just a sec. There we go. And so what we've noticed, and especially talking with Alan and some of the people that I speak with on a daily basis, we've noticed is that one of the number one, I guess, pet peeves or things that agents tend to shy away from is making that call, that price reduction call. And so Alan already spoke briefly about it, but this is something that we actually aim to help you out with. We aim to use the information that we get out of our feedback system to leverage price reductions and to actually make them easier. And what I love is that Alan pointed out that it went from him having to make those gruesome request calls to sellers actually contacting him saying, hey, look, I'm getting this information, I'm seeing it, and now I'm able to get those price reductions. And so it sounds great, pie in the sky type stuff, but what I'm going to get into right now is to show you the hard evidence of how we actually accomplish this and help you accomplish this.
That's excellent. Just let me butt in here for a second while you display your presentation again. But 90% said that it was either difficult or very difficult to get price reductions. So I mean, when you explore the needs for technology in real estate today, and you start looking at numbers like 90% of the people would benefit from a technology, it's a pretty good claim that you're onto something here.
Exactly, and what the beauty of the system is that it was created out of a need. It wasn't like some tech guys got together and created something that they thought would solve a problem. It was actually a real, relevant problem right there staring them in the face, and they were able to create a solution for it. And what's really great is that it's an automated system. So not only does it make it easier, but it automatically makes it easier. So it makes it exponentially better to work with. So I'll kind of just jump right in here. How home feedback works, it's initiated in a few different ways. I'm pretty sure you can guess the most basic one, which is manually, checking, running a lockbox report or whatever it is and sending that out manually. Our system does allow for that, but we do have 3 automatic follow-up systems, or processes. So namely, the first automatic one is using that cloud-based calendar. As soon as someone schedules it, you can be using it in your back office or even put that link out on the website for agents and prospective buyers to find online. Once they go ahead and schedule that, it will schedule up a feedback request to go out after the appointment has been completed. Also, via electronic lockbox. This one's absolutely loved across the states. If you're using an electronic lockbox and someone's accessing that, we will sync up with that lockbox and be able to produce those feedback requests. And then lastly, using our showing robot automated scheduling system, it will also schedule up a feedback request to go out. So the combination of all 4 of those is basically makes it for a catch-all. No matter which way, shape, or form people are scheduling showings and showing properties, they're going to get a feedback request sent to them one way or the other. A quick view on the left is kind of what the feedback looks like. It's branded for every agent for the company. It's going to have the company logo. It's also going to have the agent's signature and photo, and the listing information with the photo, because chances are that showing agent's seen 15 listings that day. They might not remember exactly which listing you're speaking of, so we're giving them the best chance to give us a response.
That's an email, right? I'm sorry.
Yes, that is in an email format. If the showing agent has a showing suite app, they can choose to turn off the email and just get it through the app. But that's their choice, and that's usually used in large offices where the entire brokerage has showing suite accounts. Most of the agents will prefer to turn off the email notifications, so no longer are they getting hit up with those old school, calls or fax to get feedback. And now they're not even going to get contacted via email. They can just do it all through their app. So that's really great as well. But yes, that was an example of an email thanks for helping me clarify that. So what we do know also is that showing agents don't necessarily like taking calls after they've showed a listing. You know, they've showed 12 listings, had a full day. The last thing they probably want to do is answer the phone calls to give feedback to everybody. So what we're able to do is we're able to send out those feedback requests, but the great thing is the flexibility in those. So you're completely flexible in your frequency, so you can send out multiple requests per showing to those agents to try to increase your response rate. And then also you can customize the questions that are being asked. Much like Alan spoke, you can really change it up there. You can edit or delete existing questions. You can create new templates using questions from scratch, or even use our question pool, which has 1,000 preloaded questions broken down in different categories. So it makes for a real simple drag and drop process to create and edit templates. What's also great is the multiple question types. You got multiple choice, open-end, or even multiple choice with open-end, and then also conditional and secondary questions. And so what's really great are those conditional and secondary questions. They might look like just a plus, like an extra tool that's there, but they're actually very powerful. So I'll give you an example. If we're able to ask, hey, what did you think about the listing price? Was it above, below, or at market value? If they answer above market value, what happens is we pop up a conditional question that says, okay, give us your best estimate as to how much above market value. And that way we're getting that more in-depth information as opposed to showed well, cost too much. You know, that's a very typical response if you just leave it open-ended. So these conditional questions will help you get a little bit more in-depth. Also, what really sets this whole system takes the system to the next level is the integration with sellers. It's that communication. Like Alan was saying, one of the #1 problems with people when they were losing listings were expiring, or anytime they've had a bad experience, it usually can be broken down to communication. And so what we do is we help you communicate this information to your seller in a number of different ways. First, you can have it automatically sent to them via email. Second, if you choose, you can screen the feedback prior to having your seller see it, and you can actually even ask questions that are not directly visible to the seller. And I'm sure you can imagine exactly how beneficial that could be to control that information in the way that you want. Now, this is really where the bread and butter of that whole price reduction conversation happens. Like Alan was saying, it's the statistical reports. What we do is we keep an aggregate of all the agent responses, and we produce these easy-to-read, very easily understood statistical reports that pretty much help you do the convincing. Like Alan said, we're no longer sitting there and saying, hey, this is everyone's opinion and I'm going to present that to you. What your agents are able to do is sit beside them and go over these statistical reports. And what they're going to see in these statistical reports is, hey, look, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, 78% of people are saying the listing's overpriced by an average of $14,560. Your listing has been showing 3.2 times per week. Average listings in the same price range in the area have been showing 7.2 per week, or whatever it is. What do you guys want to do? And so you can show them that, but most often those sellers are going to see that information themselves using their seller portal, and that's when they initiate the price reduction conversation on their end. So these statistical reports are one of the keystones of helping leverage all this information to get those price reductions. And essentially, once the listings, as we all know, once the listing's priced right, it's only a matter of days until it sells. So this is one of the best price reduction, actually it's the best price reduction tool that is available on the market. Going in line with that is our e-blast functionality. So I'm sure we've all been in the position where, hey, I just got that price reduction I was looking for. 90% of us had a hard time getting it in the first place. Of course, I want to work with that. Now that I've got that price reduction, I want to let everybody know. As opposed to, hopefully they land on the MLS and notice the price change. Well, what we use is our e-blast functionality. And basically, within 3 clicks of the button, or if you're on your smartphone, 3 little swipes, and you can blast everybody who's taken a buyer through that listing and let them know about that price reduction. So you're getting that information out there, and you're being proactive, and you can get that information out within a couple minutes, literally to everybody who's brought a buyer through that listing. It also works for things like, God forbid the listing falls out of escrow or whatever it is. Within minutes, you can have that information out to the people that actually care. And it also works for adding that additional sense of urgency when it comes to creating offers. If someone comes in with a lowball offer, it's your choice. You can go ahead and blast everybody else and say, hey guys, I just got an offer, I'll be considering it for 48 hours, get yours in while you still can. And so it's a great way to create that additional sense of urgency. Also, like Alan and I were speaking about, each seller is going to have their own free account. It's going to be hosted on our servers, so you don't got to worry about anything slowing down, but we can actually put the login on your website. And your brokerage website is going to add some traffic, it's going to drive some traffic your way, and let's be honest, it legitimizes the whole process when you're able to go to your website and log in to their account. Once they're in there, they can view that statistical report that I talked about, and that's the tool that helps initiate that price reduction conversation. What they can also do is they can view their calendar showings. So if you're using any of our calendar features or any of our scheduling features, they'll be able to check out their calendar and see when the next upcoming showings are coming. Also, every agent will be able to use this portal to share listing tasks, marketing initiatives, and documents. So in those cases where we're seeing listings expiring or they're taking a long time to sell, you can show due diligence by using the listing task and marketing initiative feature. And then also for out-of-state and foreign investors where time differences may not allow for effective communication, you can go ahead and put all the information in here. That way, whatever time they want to go ahead and look at that information, it's not going to conflict with your schedule. They can just log into their portal and check that out. And I do, again, want to just give you a quick plug. If you're interested, if you already say, hey, Isaac, I like what's going on, let me go ahead and just get started. I'm that type of person. If you get me interested in something, I want to jump right on it. So you can go to showingsuite.com and get started on a 30-day free trial. Make sure you use the promo code RET14 to get the extra bonus that comes along with arriving at this, attending this Techinar. And so now that I've kind of gone over the feedback and how that helps and how we get price reductions, what I'll be doing is talking about the automated scheduling system. And I'll just jump right in. The automated scheduling system that we have is called Showing Robot. And this is an additional option that you can add on to any account. But basically it works just like it's an automated cloud-based scheduling system. So there's two different ways that agents can use this to schedule showings. One is using the automated call-in. So what we do is we're going to give your brokerage a local area phone number. Agents will be able to call into that number, and they'll use an automated system to schedule multiple showings on your entire inventory. What's great is that this system is going to be working around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. This little robot up here doesn't take any breaks or vacations, so it's going to be scheduling that, and you're not going to have any human error, because call centers, they have people that may not be as vested in scheduling showings as you may be. So it's definitely a leg up where agents can call round the clock and schedule multiple showings all in one easy phone call. Coupled up with that, using that same local area phone number, we allow agents to text to schedule showings. So using their mobile device, they'll be able to text into that same local area phone number and schedule showings using that. And what's great about that is that you don't have to be printing up new sign writers and things like that. Basically, you can use your one showing robot number across the brokerage, and this is going to save you a ton of time and a ton of money because you can just use that one sign writer style all across every listing to have people obtain 24-hour property information and also schedule showings. And what's great is buyers and their agents can automatically get property info, photos, and schedule appointments right there from their smart device. And everybody knows nowadays everybody likes to use their phone as much as possible, so this is a great way to engage them. When an agent or a prospective buyer does go ahead and text in for information, what they'll get back is this guy over here on the left, which is a mobile optimized property flyer. And so this property flyer, they can go ahead and search your entire inventory of active listings, and they can then be taken to this mobile optimized interactive calendar where they can check out available days and showing times, and they can request showings right there from their smartphone. And what's great is also, we know that a lot of lead generation happens right there at the curb. And so what we can do is you can use the InstaShow feature, and buyers or prospective buyers that are right there, maybe they're in front of the house with their agent, they can actually request an immediate showing if that's something that they want to do. So the beauty of the system is that regardless if the person calls in the automated system to schedule a showing or they text in, the beauty of the system really picks up after that. What happens is our system then automatically arranges and confirms those showings using text messaging, phone call, or email. So your sellers, if a husband wants a phone call, wife wants a text, and the dog wants an email, they'll all get notified the way that they prefer. And as soon as they approve it, our system's going to do all the legwork again in confirming that, which includes sending out any confirmation notifications with also any instructions that you may have for the showing agent, and then also put that on the cloud-based calendar for you and the seller to see. And then lastly, it's also going to couple up with our award-winning feedback system to pretty much bring this thing full circle and follow up with feedback after the showing has occurred. Much the way I spoke about at the beginning, Showing Suite Mobile, everything we talked about here, plus a whole bunch more, every agent in your brokerage is going to be able to do. So if you got those real tech-savvy guys that are out of the office all the time and prefer to use their phone, whether they got an Android device or iPhone or iPad, they will be able to use Showing Suite and have it fully functional right there in the palm of their hand, no matter where they're at. Also, part of our newest Showing Suite app is our Showing Note feature, and it's basically like Evernote for showings. You're able to give access to buyers, give the app access to this app for buyers, and what they're able to do is they're able to check into listings, much like they would a restaurant on Facebook. Also, they can favorite listings, and then they can take text, picture, and even video notes on these listings, and they're able to keep all that information, keep track of all of it, and keep it organized, as opposed to, like 12, 10 MLS printouts with chicken scratch written on the back. They're able to keep that all organized, and what's great is they can, is that information is also, they can share that in real time with anybody else who has the app. So if it's a husband and wife or roommates or whatever it is, they can share that information in real time using the app and show all the listings that they've been looking at. And then to top it all off, the agent also has access to every single buyer's account, so they can actually see which listings they're favoriting. Maybe they're like taking photos of particular features or whatever it may be. And it basically gives you that insight that may not have been verbalized during the actual showings, and allows for them to kind of work from there. So that's actually a great functionality within the Showing Suite app, and is available in the app stores as well. Lastly would be our customer satisfaction surveys. As brokers, we all want to keep tabs on everything that's going on, whether it's how our clients are being served and also how our agents are performing. So these customer satisfaction surveys, they're scheduled to go out automatically after the close of escrow. And what it does, it helps you monitor the satisfaction of your clients, because, in essence, those agents' clients are actually your clients. And then also your agent performance. It could be possible that maybe somebody needs to improve their marketing or communication skills. Well, in either event, you're going to be able to get that information directly, straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. And, if we've done everything right up to this point, you're probably just going to get some really good testimonial material for your website, social media accounts, and whatnot as well. So all across the board, the customer satisfaction surveys are great. Kind of flying in for a landing here. If you are a broker or you have a team and you're interested in finding out more about how to pursue that for your entire brokerage, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email. And actually, if you mention this webinar today, we will help you out with the closing costs. We'll be able to give you discounts there as well. So feel free to go ahead and do that, and we definitely will be able to help you out right away. Also, no matter if you're going at it as an individual or as a brokerage, we do have a no-risk guarantee for your free trial. And basically, we want you to get started and try it out, and we guarantee that you will not be disappointed. And that's our no-risk guarantee, that you get a 30-day free trial, and we're going to back it up and make sure that you like it. Also, like I said, I've already plugged it twice, but just got to do it one more time. If you go to showingsuite.com, you can start up a 30-day free trial, and if you use the promo code RET14, you will get an additional $10 off your first paid month. Just give you a little bonus just for checking out this webinar today. And with that, I'd really like to thank you guys for giving me the time.
Yeah, excellent. Well, you did a terrific job. Thank you for showing us all that. So at this point, we're going to stop the recording of today's webinar, but everyone's going to stay online, and we're going to answer all the questions that came in.